share the stand back there. Okay. Hello, my name is Stephanie Shaw. Thank you for being here today. I'm from Vermont and spent my entire life here until I left for college in the state of Maine. My parents had met while working at the Sisters of Mercy, which helped me to feel a sense of community and trust with Mercy Connections when I first started working with them. My story is one about finding hope, a story of being in a place of hopelessness and finding my way out. I also want to share that my religious journey is that of one of being a Druid, and that is important because my perspectives today are from that vantage point. I did all the things I thought I was supposed to do. I went from being a kid to graduating college, and I soon found myself with a family to provide for. After having my second child, my partner and I split up, and I found myself a single mother. I was struggling to find my identity and career while providing for my kids at the same time. I felt like I had gone from being a kid to having a family and never having time for myself. In between that, I was in a very low place. I felt stuck, and I was in survival mode raising 3 girls. I didn't want to give up, but I was surviving day to day, contemplating ending my life. My inner voice told me that I needed to start over from nothing in order to work on self-love, worthiness, and find happiness again. So it happened. I didn't feel like I deserved much. I gave up my kids, hope of finding a career, my physical belongings, and I became homeless. In 2017, I moved back to Vermont, and I was in a place of hopelessness. The only thing I had left was religion, and I didn't even know which one I wanted to be a part of. I had never experienced depression to that depth. I was homeless for 2 years. After the birth of my 3rd child, I moved to Lund's residential program. Having a home was a huge relief for me. I could finally work on more than just the basics in life. I came up with a safety plan for myself in case I found myself in crisis again. Living at Lund gave me structure to my life that I needed, and so I started to feel a little better. I took advantage of the advice they were giving me. One recommendation was to come to Mercy Connections and join the mentoring program, so I did. I requested a mentor that reminded me of my grandmother. My grandmother always told me like it was and was passionate about things in her life, especially advocating for people she loves. I was matched with Sydney, who is exactly those things. One of the first events I attended at Mercy Connections was Thanksgiving dinner in 2021. I didn't have a refrigerator in my place with Lund, so Sydney offered to take my food and keep it in the freezer for me. She kept that turkey in her freezer until I moved into my own apartment. It was the first meal I had in my new place. Sydney also encouraged me to sign up for other classes at Mercy Connections. When I took Fostering Hope and Strength class, I learned that other people were going through the same thing as me. I learned how to manifest hope into something positive in the world. I also joined the Inclusive Entrepreneurship Startup class. Within a week, I had an idea of starting my own business of making doll clothing. My daughters love the idea, especially for their dolls. Now, if I could only keep some of the inventory. My grandmother taught me how to sew, and creating a business that was based on something I knew how to do well gave me self-confidence and helped to instill hope once again. I found myself surrounded by like-minded women who were also going through the same steps with their business, and I feel like I belong somewhere. I even applied for a grant from VSAC to pay for the class, and it was approved last week. Today, I find myself taking more pride in my everyday actions. I live with my daughter in my own place, and I even had a chance to donate doll clothing to her school recently. I am no longer in survival mode, and I feel a sense of community again. Every day I wake up happy. I love to look out the window of my apartment and see the street view. My place is tiny, but it is mine. Most importantly, I am able to provide for my daughter and myself. I think that Mercy Connections is a path opener for people. It opened a path for me to start a new chapter, and I am grateful to be alive. I went from having no hope and struggling to get through the day, and now I have a 10-year plan. My hope is that by sharing my story, someone will hear it and be inspired to get a mentor who is a friend and helps to inspire hope in their lives when they need it too. Thank you.